My name is Nathan Woods, and I've been training dogs since I was 10 years old. Many of these have been top-level obedience trial and champion show dogs, making them the most responsive examples of their breed. Although most pet owners are not interested in showing their dogs or training them to such a high level, they are interested in having a dog they can enjoy taking to the beach, riding in the car, and walking down the city street without them misbehaving. I've found that most people consistently underestimate their dog's potential. My purpose in life is to help people bring out the best in their dog. What I've found over the years is that a dog living up to its potential is a calmer, happier, more satisfied dog, which leads to an owner that is calmer, happier, and more satisfied. Years of working with dogs have convinced me that virtually all dogs want to please their owners. It's up to us to show them how. The key is to teach your dog to focus on you and cooperate around any type of distractions. I address any and all behavioral issues. I can also teach you to train your dog to be the best dog it can possibly be. My program is set up to each day be enough to challenge the dog, but not enough to discourage the dog, and each day enough to challenge the owner, but not enough to discourage the owner, and we build on that success. If I can train dogs to be national champions and top-level obedience dogs, imagine how easy it is for me to get your pet to be a responsive companion. Expect more from your dog, enjoy more from your dog, unleash your dog's full potential and your own. Hi everyone, I'd like to go over my Novice Level Syllabus, which is the foundation of my training program. Regardless on which option you choose for you and your dog, the first meeting we meet for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and I very thoroughly go over any and all behavioral issues. That way I can give you initial suggestions, and then as we begin the program, we can make adjustments to those initial suggestions. But it's very important to get a good foundation to get your dog used to cooperating around distractions and to get you used to getting your dog to cooperate around distractions. And by completing this program, that is exactly what you're going to do. So if you look at week 1, setting the foundation, the common theme throughout the program is in this syllabus, we do each day enough to challenge the dog, but not enough to discourage them. And then we build on success. So you'll notice that every single week leads into the next, and then into the next, and then to the next. And it builds on success. I use praise. I was never raised training dogs with treats, and I've gotten dogs to the very highest level in the obedience world without treats. So this is novice level. I've gotten to the very highest level, novice open utility, and for me to help you get to novice level is piece of cake. And all dogs should very easily be able to do novice level. But to a pet owner, if your dog can do 80% of novice, you're going to be thrilled because your dog's going to be super good on and off leash around distractions. And that's what most pet owners want. So week 1 is setting the foundation. That means there's literally no point in any commands if the dog is all over the place. So say we go out there and the dog's pulling and lunging and barking and chewing at the leash and eating things off the ground. We get all of that out of their system the first week. And I give you a little exercise without any commands at all, and the dog is walking perfectly on your left side on a slack leash with its shoulders even with your legs. Now little do they know, by the time you get to week 2, heeling and sitting, that is heeling. The word heel means to walk, and the proper heel position is their shoulders even with your legs. So now we are set up for week 2. Heeling and sitting, they come into the week heeling perfectly. We praise them for it. We give them a command to associate with the word and the action, and we get them to heel and we get them to sit, and we show them where to sit. and we tell them Fido heel, Fido sit, and we place them for the first 3 days in the exact position. And then the second 3 days, we expand the healing to introduce 90-degree left turn, 90-degree right turn, and we tell them to sit without touching them. A lot of dogs are used to sitting, but they're not used to sitting facing forward. Then, after getting them to heel and sit so many times in week 2, by the time we get to week 3, we no longer need to tell them to sit. So then we move into the automatic sit, which you tell them to heel, you slow down, you stop, and voila, they automatically sit. And at that point, why would they move? It's now easy to teach them sit, stay. We start off 1 foot for 5 seconds, 2 feet for 10 seconds, and slowly build throughout the week until you're at 6 feet for 1 minute. Then we introduce the stand. We just get the dog to stand up from a sitting position, which may or may not be awkward, but all we're teaching the dog to do is to stand up from a sit, and they're going to learn. We're not asking for a backflip here, just stand up, no big deal. Week 4, we expand on the sit stay. Instead of returning clockwise, we now return counterclockwise. We add distractions. We have things go behind the dog. We put food around them, bounce toys around them, kneel down, jump up, a couple steps to the left, a couple steps to the right, and we return counterclockwise. Second thing is the stand stay. After they have a concept of stay and a concept of stand, now we go stand stay. Get them in the stand position, tell them to stay, go out 6 feet. And then we introduce the down after they know the automatic sit, because when they automatically sit, half of them is already in the down position. We just got to get the other half down. And we do that in a 3-step process. Again, the common theme is we do enough to challenge the dog, but not enough to discourage them. So at the end of the week, we want to be able to stand up straight without bowing or pointing and tell them the word down, and they lay down from a sit position. Then we get to the recall. The recall is the part we need them to do at the beach off lead. We really want them to, the 2 things we need to do at the beach off lead is to turn on a dime, come and sit no matter what, and to heel off leash and don't run after the dog over there playing ball. So week 4 is where this gets started. We put the dog on a sit stay. We go out 6 feet. We tell them the word, their name, the word come, get them to come and sit in front. And that makes sense because they already know the automatic sit. They know they can't get any closer, and it makes sense for them to stop and sit right in front of you. So we work on that in week 4, and then the finish is something we don't need them to do off leash at the beach, but it's an added bonus. We then want them to, we tell them to heel when they're sitting in front. They walk around you and sit at heel position. And that's based on the fact that the dog doesn't technically know to walk on your left side. They only know to walk with you on their right side. So if you're walking forward, they're on your left, but you're on their right. And then if you walked backwards, they would jump on your right side and keep you on their right side. And so if you go back, they go around you, and go forward, they stop and sit on your left side with their shoulders, even with your legs. Then we get to week 5, which is the final stage of the stand, which we put them on a stand, tell them to stay, go out 6 feet, and then me or somebody comes up and touches the dog without moving. Then after they know sit, stay, and stand, stay, and down, now we can very, very easily teach them down, stay. And we do that for 6 feet for 1 minute. Then we get to week 6, which is we do all the exercises except the stand on a 15-foot leash. So now we expand the distance. We're just building on what they already know. And again, the point of all of this is to get them used to cooperating around distractions and to get you used to getting them to cooperate around distractions. And each time we meet for our lessons, we make adjustments to your original suggestions on the behavioral issues. So the dog jumping on people or barking or whatever, each time I see you, I'm going to keep adjusting on the behavioral issues until you've solved the issue. Then on week 7 and 8, optional, but I recommend, we then train the dog on a remote collar. And I don't technically use this as a training device. I use this as a polishing tool, because one loophole in the system up until week 7 is, sure, I'll do this on leash, but you can't catch me off leash. So then we introduce the remote. The dog wears a collar. We go to Hendry's Beach or the Douglas Preserve off lead, and we have a remote control. The collar beeps, makes a sound, it vibrates, or does a static, which is like touching a static doorknob. This is not at all what I consider a shock. A shock is, I've touched cattle fences before, and it literally throws you on the ground. This is more like touching a static doorknob. So I do this about every weekend with dogs at the end of my program. And again, the two things we need them to do off lead at the beach is to come sit in front no matter what, and heel off leash and don't run after the dog playing ball. At the beach, undoubtedly, there would be 10 dogs that don't know each other, and an owner will, bring out a chuck it, somebody throws the ball, and all 10 dogs run after the same ball. That can be a very dangerous situation. Also, if there's somebody sitting down in a chair under an umbrella and they have a dog and your dog goes running up to say hi, that could also be a very dangerous situation. So in those situations, we need to be able to tell your dog to heel, and we walk right past that. And you can avoid tons of trouble that way. So I introduce the remote, and pretty much every single time it's about a 1 to 3 minute learning curve, because technically we are not teaching the dog anything new. We are just bridging the gap between on and off leash. And it's a very fast learning curve, very reliable. And I tell my clients, use this tool until you could at least go a month without pushing a button, which happens super fast. Usually the second time we meet off leash at the beach for this exercise, you might push sound once or twice at the most. And if we met a third time at the beach, because sometimes I combine week 5 and 6 together, so you get 3 sessions off lead. Then we meet the third time. Rarely does anybody push any buttons. So that 1 month without pushing a button is going to come pretty quick. But I do have some clients that when they go to the beach or hiking in the mountains, they put the remote on the dog and they tell me, you know what? I haven't pushed a button in over a year. But in the event there was an emergency, like a rattlesnake sitting over there, or the dog horses run by, or some sort of weird emergency, they have the ability to correct the dog for up to 100 yards. And that really seals the deal and makes the dog reliably on and off leash around distractions. So that's my program. In the obedience world, this is novice level. All AKC obedience is modeled after duck hunting. And in the duck hunting world, they refer to novice level as pre-field training, which means there's no point in any retriever drills unless your dog is super good on and off leash around distractions. Anyways, but that's it. If you have any questions, let me know.